Malaysia kicked off its National Covid-19 Immunisation Programme today, with Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin becoming the country's first recipient. Health DG Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, who has become the country's face in the fight against Covid-19, received his shot right after the PM. This was followed by 4 Health Ministry personnel. The PM received the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine shot at the District Health Centre in Precinct 11, which has been identified as a vaccine dispensing centre according to Bernama. After being kept under observation for possible side effects, Muhyiddin was then given his appointment for his second dose, to be administered 21 days later. He then launched the registration for the program via the My Sejahtera vaccination app, which was introduced to make it easier for people to sign up. To recap, the program will be implemented in 3 phases, set to run until February 2022. However, according to Coordinating Minister for the program, Karimi Jamaluddin, the program is expected to be completed before the end of this year, ahead of the earlier deadline. But he says this is dependent on whether the vaccine can be secured according to schedule. Malaysia reported 3,545 new COVID-19 cases today, 3,331 recoveries and 12 new deaths. Malaysia's economic outlook is marked as at risk, according to Moody's analytics economist Dr. Stephen Cochrane, who notes that the country is seen to have the strictest COVID-19-driven policies, such as the MCO. The MCO, which bars interstate travel, spurs expectation of slower economic and business growth. Cochrane claims that Malaysia is having trouble controlling COVID-19 after doing a pretty good job early on containing the pandemic. He also names the Philippines and Indonesia as 2 other countries having trouble managing COVID-19. Malaysia enforced MCO 2.0 earlier this year on essentially the whole country except for Sarawak, when new daily cases began to spike alarmingly. The government is currently gradually lifting MCO 2.0 in stages as the situation tentatively improves. According to Bank Negara, Malaysia's economy contracted by 5.6% for 2020 as mobility restrictions weighed on economic activity during the 4th quarter. Telekom Malaysia returns to the black for its 4th quarter of FY20, reporting a net profit of 259.4 million compared with a net loss of 51.1 million previously. This was mainly due to lower operating costs and net other gains. The improvement came despite revenue for the quarter dropping 1.1% to 3 billion ringgit. Likewise, for FY20, net profit surged 61% year-on-year to 1.02 billion, despite top line declining 5.2% to 10.8 billion as revenue from all products declined. TM also declared a final interim single-tier cash dividend of 7.5 cents per share, which brings the entire year's payout to 14 cents per share. Moving forward, Group CEO Imri Mukhtar reiterates TM's support for MyDigital, believing that such public and private collaboration will propel the country towards a full-fledged digital Malaysia by 2030. While the telco acknowledges that uncertainties remain due to COVID-19 and MCO 2.0, it is optimistic that the effect will not be as severe this time around. DRB-Hicom has reported a surge in net profit to 986 million for the 4th quarter from 47.5 million in the preceding quarter, fueled by higher contributions from its automotive and property segment. The conglomerate also posted a record high quarterly revenue of 4.85 billion compared with 3.56 billion ringgit recorded in the 3rd quarter. For FY20, DRB-Hicom registered a pre-tax profit of 540 million on the back of 13.16 billion in revenue, thanks to moderate business recovery and completion of an asset disposal exercise. Owing to a change in financial year, no comparative figures were available. Moving forward, DRB-Hicom expects its automotive sector will continue to be the key growth driver for the group in the future. It also expects Post Malaysia to continue to benefit from the growth in the e-commerce market as more Malaysians embrace home shopping as a safety net. Rubberex Corp Malaysia saw its fourth quarter net profit skyrocket more than 15-fold to 59.44 million from the 3.88 million posted previously. Unsurprisingly, the stellar numbers were due to higher average glove selling prices and higher demand for rubber gloves in general. Revenue surged more than 200% to 152.8 million. This brought Rubberex's full FY20 net profit to 131.2 million, a staggering increase from the net profit of 11.35 million posted in FY19. Revenue grew by more than 90% to 416.4 million ringgit. MD Koo Chin Long said in a statement that notwithstanding the vaccine rollouts globally, disposable gloves shall remain at the forefront. Moving forward, the group expects to be on an even stronger footing for FY21 as its order book for 2.5 billion pieces of nitrile disposable gloves has already been fully taken up.